Hi there YouTube and welcome to Tech Cravers. This is the Logitech G Cloud. It has finally arrived at my doorstep for testing, and as the name implies, the Logitech G Cloud has been purposely built for cloud gaming and game streaming. Out of the box, the device comes with pre-installed apps for Nvidia GeForce Now and Xbox Cloud Gaming. Logitech even mentions on its website that the console requires a separate cloud subscription service to function as intended. The problem here though is that Logitech wants a whopping $350 for the G Cloud, or actually $300 for the time of recording this. But even at $300, that's just below the price of the base model Steam Deck and almost $100 more than Sony's upcoming streaming handheld, the PlayStation Portal. Is it possible that a streaming device can be worth that much? Or is it possible that Logitech knows that this device can do more than streaming? As followers of this channel probably already know, I have alternative purposes in mind for this handheld device. It's an Android device after all, and we all know what they can do nowadays. So without further delay, let's jump into it. When you boot up the Logitech G Cloud for the first time, it will guide you through a very straightforward setup process. Users of Retroid devices and a few other handheld emulators will recognize themselves pretty quick. And you will then be able to choose layout if you want the more classic Android tablet layout or the handheld mode for true gamers only. If you go for the latter, you will be taken to this console-like layout with focus on gaming apps, and it's very easy to navigate. It's a custom build of Android 11, and for the most part it's a very snappy software and it works very well. However, I did encounter a few bugs during my tests, and I even succeeded in closing down Steam Link on my PC but didn't manage to back out of it on my G Cloud, resulting in me controlling my PC using the touchscreen on my handheld. I had to restart both my PC and my handheld to get rid of the bug. Apart from that, I really like the software. Hardware-wise, Logitech have found a very nice balance between the screen size and the overall size of the handheld. The 7-inch 1080p screen takes up most of the space, while the analog sticks and the buttons are conveniently placed next to it without being too bulky. In other words, it's much smaller than, for example, a ROG Ally. And even though the ROG Ally has a 40 Wh battery that will last you 1.5 hours if you're lucky, the 23.1 Wh battery on the G Cloud will last for 12 hours according to Logitech, which is pretty insane. Efficiency is key here though, as the Snapdragon 720G CPU inside the G Cloud drains much less juice than its bigger PC handheld siblings. The buttons are overall great on the G Cloud. We have a home button that will take you straight to the home menu no matter what you're doing, and then back to the latest app or game you used if you press it again. The analog sticks are top quality, and they resemble those a bit stiffer ones on the Steam Deck more than those loose ones on the ROG Ally. The face buttons are the rubber membrane type and are quite small but perfect sized on this device. On top we have two clicky bumpers and two analog triggers with decent travel length. On the upper right we have a micro SD card slot with up to 1TB expandable storage and a sleep-wake button that is among the snappiest I have ever used. And since it's Android, you can put it to sleep while playing any game and just wake it up to continue playing wherever you took off. And to the left we also find the volume rocker. The D-pad might not be the best one I have ever used, but at least it's big and comfortable, and it has good pivot and is, as far as I can see, very nice to play games on for longer sessions. Then there's this yellow G Cloud button that I haven't found any use for yet. However, all the buttons are remappable should you want that, so if you can think of a good use for it, why don't you let me know in a comment down below. Speaking of down below, here we find our headphone jack, the USB Type-C charging port, and the dual speakers that sounds louder than pretty much any device I have ever used. I actually accidentally woke up my son while recording some gameplay on this device. So for native Android games, this device is exceptional. It comes with Google Play Store pre-installed, so you're free to download whatever you want. And games that support native controllers will just work with mapped buttons straight out of the box, like here on Diablo Immortal. But what's even crazier is that you can map the controls to work with any touchscreen based game that does not support controllers as well. If you head into settings and update your device to the latest firmware, and then head into labs and activate key mapping, which apparently is in beta but works flawless in my opinion, you can then hold down the home button while in any game and select key mapping from the menu. I have already mapped my buttons in Stumble Guides, but I'll do it again for the purpose of this video. All you basically have to do is to drag the key mapper's overlay controls onto the corresponding touchscreen control on the screen. Then hold on to it and select Enable. Once you're done with everything, just click Save in the top middle and you're good to go. This will make Stumble Guys and any other touchscreen controlled game at least 10 times better, and it's also the reason why my 7-year-old prefers this device to pretty much any other tablet or phone ever when it comes to gaming. However, there's yet another area where this device truly excels, in the realm of retro gaming via emulators. The Logitech G Cloud is an absolute delight for playing titles spanning from the OG NES and Game Boy to the Nintendo 64 and PlayStation 1. With a bit of tinkering in the settings, you might even be able to push the boundaries a bit further. But even for someone like me, who engages in this activity daily and fine-tunes every handheld I lay my hands on, I'm not particularly inclined to do so this time. Instead, I prefer to load up the Logitech G Cloud with my cherished old retro games and dive straight in. Up to this point, my preferred screen for older games have been on the Ambernic RG552, and even though that remains a more compact device, the Logitech G Cloud has taken the lead as my go-to device for my N64 library moving forward. And with all that being said, we still haven't delved too deeply into the primary purpose of which Logitech designed this device: game streaming from other hardware. Upon the initial setup, the device performs a network check to determine if your connection is up to par. Once that's confirmed, you're all set to utilize your preferred game streaming service. Plus, when you purchase this device, you'll receive a complimentary 1-month subscription to Nvidia GeForce Now and a 3-month subscription to Microsoft Game Pass. Alternatively, you can use Valve's Steam Link, as I'm demonstrating here with Starfield, or opt for a third-party application like Moonlight or PS Play for PlayStation streaming. And before we wrap this up, I'm gonna leave you with some gameplay from a few other of my favorite games. So that concludes this video showcasing the Logitech G Cloud in late 2023. What are your thoughts on this device? Generally, I'm not a fan of devices marketed solely as cloud or streaming devices. However, if you dwell deeper into what the Logitech G Cloud has to offer, it's actually a delightful device that both my kids and I have grown fond of. While I personally wouldn't pay $300 for it, if you can find it secondhand for about half that price, you have scored an incredible deal. And if Logitech aims to significantly boost sales of this device, they should consider slashing $100 off the price tag right away. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and comment on the video if you enjoyed it, and also please subscribe to my channel if you want more content like this in your feed. Thanks for watching, Tech Ravers out!